afternoon. Oh, I love it. My name is Christine, and I am a proud RLabs champion. And very honored to be standing up front today. So, of course, we have many special guests this afternoon. I am going to just greet our Minister of Finance. Let's give it. We're gonna clap hands today because we're all excited, okay? So, the Minister of Finance, Deputy Minister of Finance, you can continue clapping. DBSA Board Chairman, let's continue clapping. DBSA's CEO, of course, our DBSA board, the entire board is here today. Woo! And then, of course, our DLab partners. Yeah. And then lastly, of course, we have our community in the house. Our people. Today marks a significant day. Of course, it is the 7th of February. The 7th. So for those of you that don't know, the number 7 is pretty much significant, as it does mark the era of completion. And I believe that today, this project has officially come to its official opening, its official completion. It's even more significant that we are in Mitchell's Plain. Yes, on the Cape Flats. And of course, just naturally, tomorrow would be the 8th, and of course, number 8 means new beginnings. I don't know about you, but I am excited to see what the people in this room is going to get up to in this building. Are you ready? I absolutely love it. That is, of course, my official welcoming. And I'm sure everybody wants to know, so what on earth is this all about? I am going to call up a very prominent key leader, our CEO, Renee Parker. Let's give her a round of applause. And of course, she will be sharing more about what is happening right here. Over to you, Renee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. I don't think I can sit still. I wish there was some music playing because then we could really just get up and dance. So today, thank you so much, everyone, for coming, first and foremost. And to our partners, we have, over the last few years, I think it's been 4 years the conversation started, and over the last 2 years we've spent many hours on Zoom. No, not Zoom, sorry, Microsoft Teams calls with a certain group of individuals. And then Marlon has had many other meetings as well. But there's something else besides this building, right? Nothing is built on nothing. It's built on a foundation. And as RLabs, we have a foundation. And the very land that we're on belong to Cape Town Christian Fellowship. And we have the executive directors here. And so would you just like to stand so that we could actually give you a round of applause? Thank you. When we were venturing on a project and we were, okay, where are we going to put up a building? And as always, they are individuals that believes in our crazy ideas. And they said, we have a piece of land in Mitchell's Plain. Would you like to use it? And we're like, yes. And then, of course, with DBSA on board and the team, we got going and we got cracking and we got working. And so we might think, okay, it was just people sitting on a call, right, and planning. But there's so many other things that happens. We even have our accounting company here, John and Michael. Thank you for all behind the scenes work that you've been doing. We have some of our community members here, our entrepreneurs. We have our security company here that keeps us safe. And we realized more and more as we were embarking on this. I mean, the video's gone. But you will see that it started and there were certain people like I was not digging the sand and busy with the bricks, but other people were doing it, right? And then on each level, more and more people got involved and different people. And when we stand here and everyone is saying, congratulations, Rene and Marlon, and we can't even take credit for it because it shows you need an army of people. And not just a community of people that's waiting to receive things. You need an army that's ready to work, that's ready to get together, that's ready to fight some things that we needed to fight, right? And decisions that hard, tough decisions and calls that needed to be made. And that was an army of people. And so today, unfortunately, we couldn't invite everybody that we would have loved to have here. We'll definitely do it over time. Hello, Mr. Mackenzie. Welcome. And so we are extremely grateful for all of you, for our partners that made this happen. It wasn't, again, let me say again, it's not just myself and Marlon, it's not just the RLabs team, it's every single person in this room and those of you that represent other people as well that made this happen. And so the journey carried on. I just forgot, I actually only had 5 minutes. I was looking at my timekeeper, which is Marlon Parker, that keeps us on our toes. And on that note, as a founder, Marlon is a visionary, right? Through and through. I don't think anyone has any doubt about that. And as a team, as an organization, as a movement, we've learned that when Marlon comes with, no matter what the idea is, we're going to get behind it and we're going to make it happen. We know that he's not an implementer, which is okay, because you can't be both. You definitely can't, we can't be both, but that's what you need. And when you see, and even in a community, you need all these players that make it work, that make it happen. And we have to trust our leadership. We have to trust the people that went before us, right? That we have to trust the people that made certain decisions, and we are just going along. And as I said, for us, we put the building on a solid, strong foundation. And this is for the community. It's so amazing to see the community members walk past and tell each other that this is their building. And they don't know who I am, right? And so I always eavesdrop. I always listen. What are people saying when they walk past and they look up? And besides asking what this is, and then somebody else will walk alongside them and say, no, this is our building. And then they will start explaining. I mean, we have many variations of what this is going to be. So I'm hoping we can actually please everyone. But that journey has been amazing. And I would like to thank our partners from DBSA. Thank you for believing in us. And we are here today, but it's definitely not something we could have done alone. And we are extremely grateful. We are honored. And I can't wait for the next 25 years to see what happens, right? When we all retired and laying on the beach somewhere, and see who's in the building and who's carrying on the work. Because I know that the work is going to continue even after we're here, because that was the intention. So thank you, everyone. I hope you feel welcomed and enjoy your time with us.
Thank you very much, Christine. Good afternoon to the Westridge community, Minister of Finance, the DBSA Board of Directors, Chair, Team DBSA, our partners, Renee and Marlon, and the RLab teams. Really, we are profoundly honored. I'm super excited to be standing here in front of you where we now have this structure for the peoples of Mitchells Plain, for the youth and women of Mitchells Plain. And to see the big elephants and the matriarchs amongst us in the form of the executive directors, it means so much. Sir, when I see you, I said, when we have silver folks involved in projects, things come right. But really, when you see the matriarch also being involved, it gets even better. Because it says the future generations are going to survive. It says the future generations will know exactly what to do to survive. Will you stand up, man? Thank you. Thank you so very much. I sincerely hope that the people of Mitchells Plain will never fail your dreams and will never fail your expectations of what you want them to become. Because this is just the beginning of what is to come. Because we want to prove once and for all that our people deserve better. Our people deserve opportunities. We so much believe in you because you know we are going to make the impossible happen for the people and the youth of Mitchells Plain. And really, as the Development Bank of Southern Africa, we will be with you through and through. We want to see magic happens. Nowhere else but here. And when I read about RLabs making hope contagious, we all know that the fuel of hope is progress. People can only begin to have hope when they see progress on the ground. And I think this is what it says. Really, really, I want to see more and more youth of Mitchells Plain actually having jobs that are coming from the creation of this place. I want to see more and more entrepreneurs blossoming and becoming prosperous with the peoples of Mitchells Plain and making the community of Mitchells Plain super proud to see their own making it in the rest of the world. Because it cannot stop here. We want to see you conquering the world. You have not only South Africa to conquer Mitchells Plain, you have the world to conquer. And we want you to always know that we are your cheerleaders and we want you to succeed. Always know that you can count on us as the Development Bank of Southern Africa. Paul, Kerry, Bulelo, Karen, Denzel, thank you for flying DBSA flag so high, for making us feel so special by really demonstrating to our brothers and sisters of Mitchells Plain that they are not alone and we are with them and that we want them to succeed because we believe that success is deserved by each and every one of us under the sun. And we want to see that happen. We want to see that happen big time. Because the DLabs are really here to really say to our people, here is your asset, put it into good use for your own benefit. Put it into good use to create things that your people can be able to create. Because we are inherently creators as human beings. And together, I know that actually here we also have the executives of DBSA and CFO, Ms. Boitumelo Musako. Please, will you stand up? I want them to see that you made budgets for these things to happen. You know, she is our Minister of Finance at the bank. Minister, I can never thank you enough for really making time to be with us here and the community of Mitchells Plain. It means so much. It says you value us. It says you want us to succeed. It says we know that we have our cheerleader in you. And really, really, thank you, Madiba. May God bless you. We will not going to fail you. We will see to it that this DLab in Mitchells Plain becomes the best DLab that this country will ever see. We have our partners, Melon, Renee. Melon, you're not the only one. You are not alone. But always know what you're not good at. Let's make those who are good at step up. And really, Renee, lead us and lead us with conviction. We are behind you and we want you to succeed. All the hopes of these people of Mitchells Plain, they're on your shoulders. Let's make it work. We have every faith and every confidence that you will pull it off. But remember, you're not alone. You are with each and every one of us here and this community of Mitchells Plain. But really, people of Mitchells Plain, thank you. And really, thank you for being the example of seeing something from when there was nothing here to now this structure standing up here. Now let's create things. Let's create jobs, let's create products, let's create services, because we want our entrepreneurs to thrive. And I'm saying, as the Development Bank of Southern Africa, we will support them through and through. We will link them to markets because their success becomes our success. Their success becomes the success of the peoples of Mitchells Plain. I thank you so profoundly. Thank you for the opportunity once again.
Thank you very much. It's really good to meet you. But what I would like to do is start by introducing you to the entire board of the Development Bank of Southern Africa. Can you all stand up? Okay. So this is the board. These are the people, the board of DBSA. I would like you to meet them, to understand them, and to hold us accountable. We've made a commitment to support and invest in this community, in this partnership between RLabs and the DBSA. Thanks, guys. I also want to thank the previous board chair, the previous chair of the board, who is now the Minister of Finance. He learned from us. But I want to also, I've been staring at this, sitting here staring at this word hope. And there's a proverb which says, where there is no hope, do you know what comes next? The nation perishes. Where there is no hope, the nation perishes. Why is hope so important that without it we perish? And what really inspires me is when I look at this, making hope contagious, next to this, the DBSA, and in particular, the first letter in that acronym, D, the D. What is development? I teach development to generations of students year after year after year. And they write these fancy, fancy essays and these long PhDs, which have got all sorts of clever words in them. But at the end of the day, it's about hope, and it's about building institutions in the poorest communities of our society. And what I want to thank RLabs for, in particular, is for helping the DBSA to understand what development means. That's what you've done. That's really what you've done. And I think seeing this dream come true, this collective dream that we've shared together with Safe Hub and all the other partners who are implicated in this extraordinary venture, what we are doing is not just making hope contagious. We're creating the foundations of hope for the rebuilding of our whole nation. We crave more than anything else in this nation today, hope, so that we are inspired enough to go out and do the work that you do, and we support you above all else. But without our previous board chair and the current Minister of Finance, we wouldn't be anywhere. So we thank you, and we look forward to listening to you. And really, really thank you for being here. It means a huge amount to the whole board, all the executives, and this community. Thank you.
Program Director, the board of DBSA under the leadership of Professor Swelling, the executive of DBSA that are here, the leadership of RLabs, Renee, Maron, the executive board, and the community of Mitchell's Plain. RLabs would not succeed without your support. For that, we need to thank you. DBSA doesn't want to pay dividends. Now I understand why I'm invited here. I went to the office the other day, rocked up without giving anybody notice. I found them, Batobel and the rest. And while chatting, they dropped up, no, Minister, we should not be paying the dividends. Now I know. Then they brought me here to say, you know, this is what we're doing with the money we're refusing to give you. Now I understand. But let me also say, my association with RLabs also started when I was chair of DBSA, and we came. I was telling Marlon the story he told me last time. Because RLab is taking kids from the streets and change them into proper human beings. One of them was, he says, Marlon, this young one, they take him to a place at university where there's a computer. They ask him, do you know this computer? He says, yes, of course. We normally steal them. Now, he changes this person from a relationship with a computer, with a relationship of stealing a computer, to a relationship of using a computer usefully. So I didn't forget that thing. It kept in my mind. It captured me, and I understand the significance of this institution. Development, Prof. We have got a challenge in this country of youth unemployment. Massive youth unemployment. But the problem is, if that economy were to pick up, the very same young people who are unemployed do not have the requisite skills to fill the jobs. I'll make an example. Bongani, maybe you can remember, maybe I'm Sasol importing welders. A welding is a working class skill. There's no reason when we're building Mudupi, some of the companies were importing welders. Those are working class skills. We should not be doing that. We should be developing institutions like this one. We can empower young kids with skills. Of course, we are empowering them with a different kind of skills, in fact, which are critical for the future. Which are critical for the future. The direction is on digitalization. That's where the world is going. That's where the world is going. So we should be developing our kids in that direction. Now, an institution like this, which focusing on developing young people, developing skills, and we're told some of them, when we go out, we're going to see some of them are making drones, or making quite fascinating stuff. I feel proud of what DBSA is doing. I feel it doesn't mean we're not going to fight over the dividend. I've got other challenges to deal with it. So I want to say thank you to everybody, man. Don't worry when they say you're not implementing, you're not alone. We are not alone. Most of us are accused of being not implementers and not being able to multitask. To conceptualize things and have the passion to do those things is sufficient enough. On my way here, somebody said, I understand you are busy preparing the budget. I said, if I were to prepare the budget, I would make the officials redundant. That's not my job. My job is to conceptualize the direction of that budget. They've got to crunch the numbers. I'm not trained to do that. People fail because they fail to do exactly that simple thing of making sure that you surround yourself with people. Even again, government goes to an office, all under a homeboy or homegirl to come here, not because he has got the requisite skills. We've got to make sure that we do the right thing, employ the right skills, conceptualize. I thank you very much, DBSA, for this work and your dedication, Malon. You're setting an example, and Rene, as we don't know how to replicate this thing. If I had my way, I would be replicating it across the country. The last time I was here, there was a youngster who made so impressive explaining about this thing. I even said, if I had my way, I would make him an ambassador to run throughout this country. The way he was passionate in explaining, I hope we still have him. I still have him. It is, even if you give 5 minutes, when we speak about this institution, we speak about passion. So sometimes we may not keep your 5 minutes. Thank you.
Marlon Parker. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's stand. Woo!
Thank you. Yeah, you're making me blush. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Definitely, I think that applause is for the RLabs family and the RLabs team. So I really kind of thank you for applauding them. And Honourable Minister, so good to have you again. I remember very vividly when you came to Bridgetown and you came to come and visit us. And you promised me, said, Marlon, this won't be the last visit. And yeah, the minister is here, and we really honor you for that. So everybody, again, a big special welcome to everyone. I'm going to be very obedient, and I'm going to ask that young man to come to the front. I'm going to put him on the spot, right? So if you can please put your hands together. I've got something that I'm going to share, but the minister really wants to hear him again. Can we do that? Is that okay? Can we break the program? Can we do that? Is it fine? So I'm going to ask Alan van der Meulen, who's the founder of Zlato. So I'm literally just going to give him the mic, and so he can share a little bit about how he came to RLabs, about his passion for what he does, and about Zlato. Is that okay? So this is not rehearsed, so I'm literally just going to give him the mic now. Alan, over to you.
Also, this is the most notice Marlon has ever given me. So, the walk. Okay, cool. Hi, so my name is Alan van der Meulen. Yes, I grew up Cape Flats, Mitchells Plain, like down the road. But you must know Mitchells Plain, so I don't really like to walk till here. You almost think about the new kind of stereotypes. So you see like, now you think of, oh, this is a place where funders come, or this is a place where investors come, or this is a place where the ministers come. So now it's like a different kind of pride when you're in the area. So I'm a big fan of stereotypes. But like Marlon wanted to speak about my introduction. So the reason I got involved with RLabs was because someone lied to me. Yeah. So what you've experienced now with RLabs, someone told me that it was a jazz cafe. And then that's the only reason I came. And then, yeah, I didn't even like, if you speak to Ellen from like 2014 and you told him, oh, it's a place about education, he'd have told you, no, thank you. I just like finished high school. But then staying in there, they asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And like, they taught me things like the internet can be used for more than downloading movies, which I never did. But the internet can be used for more than, it can be used, you can use your Gmail to actually send emails, which blew my mind. I didn't know that. And then we learned about like technology and like apps and a lot of these tech things that people generally take for granted. But in my community, entrepreneurship is not the thing. I mean, Mitchells Plain, you know, a lot of people that have businesses, but we don't call them entrepreneurs. And all the entrepreneurs, you know, are almost struggling, man. So you don't meet a lot of successful entrepreneurs in the community. And when you do, they're not in the community anymore. So then it's like hard. But now when you talk about Mitchells Plain, having a space like this, it's different, man. Now suddenly it's like, we want to be here. I can go home and tell my mom, yo, Pat. So I call my mom Pat. It's a long story. I can't. Her name is Patricia. I love her. It's a long thing. So I'm like, yo, Pat, you'll never guess who was there today. We had all our funders and all our ministers and all our partners. And she'll just be like, yo, that's amazing, my child. Because up until now, they didn't understand what I was doing. Because, I mean, in our work in Zlato, so I go home and I explain it's a virtual currency. And they're like, oh, that's nice, my son. So when are you going to get a job? And I'm like, you don't understand. We're doing like blockchain. And they're like, no, we understand what you're saying. And I'm like, no, but we're like helping people. So my mom literally had to come to the space and see what's going on and have other people tell her what I'm doing. And she's like, oh, okay, this guy like works in computers. So I guess it's fine. But just being a part of RLabs for so long and being able to like run a startup within the space and like meeting and getting all these opportunities, it makes a massive difference to have spaces like this in the community. Because we would always speak, and Senzo now would speak, and we're like, yo, but I imagine we had this in our area, man. Or actually said it, imagine we had this in the scheme, it'll be different. Because we always see like, you know, in the communities and we say, oh, there's so much spaces in all these areas that we don't normally go to. But like you can have an event in Mitchells Plain at night and it's safe. You can have the streets open in Mitchells Plain at night and it's safe, man. So like I can't wait to see it roll out to the rest of the country because I just see what it did here. So I mean, I'm going to hold you to it. So, okay. 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Sorry, we went a bit off script now, so I do apologize. And all protocols, we're going back to the protocols now. But that's exactly what the DLab is. We believe it's a place where you can build these economies, where you have the opportunity for this just transition. And I've never heard the words just transition being used so frequently as I have today. And it's important, it's imperative. I don't think it's just fancy words anymore, but it's something that we really need to realize. And about a week ago, I was standing in the street and there was a mom that was driving past and she stopped the car and she reversed back. And I thought, what just happened? What did I do? And she reversed the car and she rolls, the back window goes down. And then in front of me, there was this little 5-year-old girl and she had this little unicorn headdress on. And I love unicorns. For those of us that are building startups, you want to have a unicorn business, isn't it? And this is the first unicorn I saw in Mitchell's Plain. And she's 5 years old and she looks at me and she says, "Uncle?" I said, "Yes." She says, "Uncle, what is going to happen in this building?" Now, he's literally standing outside. And I look at her and I'm like speechless, like the boldness and the bravery to stop a mother where a mother was rushing, telling her mom she must reverse back so that she can ask me this question. She says, so Uncle, what is going to happen in this building? And I then said, and I posed the question back to her. I said, "Tell me, what do you think is going to happen in the building?" And she looked at me and she paused and she said, "Uncle, I think that they're going to teach young girls like me how to use a computer." Like, now, I've got no clue where she heard that from, but the power of those words and seeing this young girl filled with hope, filled with a place where she knows that she belongs, a place that she can call her own. And of course, a place where we're going to build a lot of unicorns, right? And she's kind of the first unicorn that we've seen. And for me, that has really kind of been a indication of what is possible with the DLab. And we've, over the last kind of 3 years and working with some great and incredible partners, and especially the community of Mitchell's Plain, we really want to say thank you for your openness and your warm hearts towards what we are doing here. And I remember when we started this journey, it wasn't an easy one because I remember we signed and a week later we had a hard lockdown. So we were like, how are we going to do this in 3 years? But what we saw out of this, we saw the impact that the DLab had. We saw that we were able to ensure that over 1,000 young people were able to find livelihoods in Westridge. That's what we saw. That is the reality that we've reached. And for me, those are the kind of things about creating sustainable livelihoods, allowing young people to be able to learn the skills that they thought they would not be able to learn. And I'm going to call a young lady. I'm also going to put her on the spot if I may. Zinzi, are you around? Where's Zinzi? Zinzi, can you make your way to the front? Can we just give a round of applause to Zinzi quickly? I'm going to ask if someone can give a microphone for Zinzi. But I'm just going to ask Zinzi. So Zinzi is one of our young people, and one of the things we do within the DLab is about this future skills. We know it's important that our young people need to learn digital skills, but not just learning it, but also how do they use it to create sustainable livelihoods. So I'm going to ask Zinzi to share a little bit of her story, what she's been doing within the DLab and the RLabs environment, and of course, what she's doing now.
Hi everyone. Hello, my name is Zinzi Majombozi. I'm currently living in Delft. So Zinzi is a young lady that grew up in a rural mixed cultural area in the Eastern Cape called Jobertina. I know a lot of people don't know it because it's deep in the rural. Yeah, so when I said rural, I mean no technology, nothing that comes to technology we knew. And I met RLabs, I think 2021. Yeah, that's when I was introduced into RLabs, learned about the digital skills. So growing up, you don't know nothing about technology. I literally only was able to touch a computer in RLabs, basically, because there was nothing to do with, there was computer labs, but those were just for the teachers. So we didn't have anything of those. And I even remember telling someone close to me that I learned a lot, actually, from RLabs because I was also introduced to Zoom, Gmails, because those are the things that you don't know. Even growing up, you just know that you have to do physical stuff or you have to learn business, because even that, most of my subjects were business. So that's why I said I didn't know anything. I was doing economics, business, and all of that. And then RLabs just came as a breakthrough because I even realize that we are moving into we are actually in the 21st century where everything will be done basically digitally. So why not grab the opportunity? And that was the perfect decision that I made, taking that opportunity, because now I actually can say I'm not a pro, but I mean, from what I was. Yeah, so from what I was, I mean, that was a 0 to 10, but now I can say 9, 8. Yeah, at least I can give me that. Yeah, and I was also introduced to the Google Scholarship where I did a UI UX design. So that was a challenge for me because I had to do it on my own at home. Now there's no one saying, Zinzi, press this, do this. But I actually, with the help of the leaders that we had, the coaches that we had through the program, I was actually able to succeed. So now the girl is standing with the UI UX design certificate. Yeah, so I must say, I would love to say RLabs really made hope contagious to me, because you don't have hope when you have it, but it's like 1% of it, you understand? So where RLabs comes in, it played a huge impact in my life because there's a lot of things that you can achieve. And even within the team, there's so much encouragement, like do this and do this, and you also get empowered within the team. So yeah, and I'm currently now working in Zlato. I was also given the opportunity to go forward and work for Zlato. I am also I'm a procurement associate, so also there I'm doing a lot computing stuff. So that's why I say it's a 9 to an 8. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Zinzi. And again, it's for us about the various possibilities. So when you think about the DLab, it's not the building, it's the people, it's the community. The building is really just that symbol of what is possible, the possibilities. And when you think about I can give you the whole detail about what we do as a DLab, but fundamentally it's about, we want to break this generational cycle of poverty in our communities. We want to fill our communities with hope. And we want to ensure that young people can dream and aspire to be entrepreneurs. If they want to build new technologies, they can do it right here from their community. And again, I think for us, when we think about the future of the DLab, we do believe it is something that is so catalytic, because we've seen that firsthand how it's impacted our surrounding community. And we have a number of our partners here that has been working, and that makes it possible. And for us, I do believe that as we really kind of look ahead and we look at what is possible, the DLab does represent what I believe is the future of sustainability. It's an opportunity that it becomes the catalyst of hope. Because all of a sudden, it's like I said, we start activating and we see people going all across the community. We support entrepreneurs. One of the things we did, you would see outside when you go to the exhibitions, we have an entrepreneurs called Loop who does this whole thing around the mobility side of things, trying to support taxi drivers to earn an additional income. We have some of our partners here that's getting young people onto delivery bikes and doing some work, again, with what they call the car mechanics, the local mechanics, making sure they have access to opportunities. And not only that, we also want to make sure that young people from our communities get access to the best from a technological perspective. We've got our partners from AWS, Google, and the likes, Microsoft, that we work with because we do believe they deserve the best. And as we're going to enjoy the place and what's going to happen later on, we're going to do a couple of tours, we're going to have some lunch. I really just want to encourage each and every one of you. One of the things about RLabs is about making hope contagious. And hope not shared is not real hope. And every single one of us in this room carries hope. And my only ask for you, as we look ahead and we look at what is going to become possible with the DLab across the country, and I love that, because I do believe South Africa is alive with possibilities. It's important for us to share the hope that we carry. From me, I just want to say thank you so much, everyone, for being here this afternoon. Thank you for the DBSA for really entrusting us. You know, it's kind of mind-boggling to think you're going to come all the way to the Cape Flats to say, you know what, we're going to get behind what you're doing. Even though we didn't fully understand the plan, right, Paul? But we were willing to journey together. And I think that is it. You know, we are doing this together. And we just want to, again, acknowledge all our partners and really want to say thank you so much for walking with us on this journey. And the journey has just begun. So if I want to ask you if you can give yourself a big round of applause. Right? Yeah. So we've literally come to the end of the program. We've said it's going to be very short. And what will happen right now, and just so you all understand, there's lunch that's going to be served in the foyer. We're going to do some tours for you. And please, we have some amazing entrepreneurs that has got some exhibition. You'll go from healthcare. We've got our inner health family here. We've got a whole range of entrepreneurs. There's that you need to go and see what they are doing. Outside, there's also an entrepreneur that makes ice cream from Mitchell's Plain. Right, so you want to go and taste it. Right, you really want to go and taste it. He makes ice cream. I can assure you, you're going to be blown away by it. But we just want you to enjoy the time together. Meet people that you haven't met yet. And we want to say thank you so much for being at the official opening of the Westridge DLab. Thank you, and God bless. Yeah.